What is archaeology? What is archaeology? Okay. Pretty much question number one in our little trip through the archaeological netherworld. What is archaeology? Well, as we learned before, archaeology is simply the study of the past, the study of dead people, this kind of angle on studying human beings. Now, more specifically, what we would say, I think you could say three things about archaeology. Archaeology is a branch of anthropology. It's one of the four fields. And we use artifacts to study the past. So what's an artifact? This is an artifact. This cup is an artifact of modern society. Now, if I held up a stone tool, that would be an artifact of the past, right? An artifact is something that human beings made. That's it. It's that simple. So we have all these things around us that we made. Any of that, they count as an artifact. Same in the past. So this branch of anthropology that uses artifacts to study the past, right? We use these bits of the past, these little slivers that are left over, to study and figure out what people did 2,000 years ago or 5,000 years ago or 100 years ago. That's how archaeology works. Now, in archaeology, if you're a type A person who really needs everything in its place and every place in its time, do not be an archaeologist. You have to be cool with the idea that you will never know what happened in the past. You are never going to get it. I know. Horrendous drag. You're going to have a good guess. That's it. That's it. Because you're making a guess on these artifacts that you may or may not find. That's what you have to do. What I like to think of it as is you have 3 pieces, 3 to a 1,000-piece puzzle. And you don't got no box. You got a vague idea of what I think this picture may be. But you ain't got no box. You got 3 pieces. And man, for those 3 pieces, you toiled and sweat and worked to find them. And let's look at your 3 pieces of your 1,000-piece puzzle. One has some grass on it. And one, there's some image of some clouds. And one, the good one, there's an image of a doorknob on it. Now, when you're an archaeologist, the public doesn't ask you easy questions. Like, what's on your pieces? Because then you could pontificate easily. Well, you see, this one has grass on it. They ask you stuff like, what was their religion like? They had a doorknob god. You know what I mean? It's tough. Now, I don't want you to think, based on my pieces, that these guesses are somehow wild guesses, or they don't make any sense, or that there's no weight to them. Because there really is. Right? We use these little bits and pieces because they're data. We use this data that we have to reconstruct the past. And that's what's so powerful about archaeology. Because artifacts, even as chintzy and small and broken as they may be, those are real. They are real data. They are facts of the past. And that's what makes all the difference. Because what I find in archaeology, and what I love about what I'm in, is it's all about the data. It's all about the facts. Nobody gives a damn about how you feel. It ain't about feelings. Oh, you could feel that dated to 1,000 years ago, but it doesn't. So we're a fact-based, artifact-based way to talk about the past. Now, let's do a little thought exercise. Just relax. Today, I'm here today on a Friday, right? What did I do last Friday? And do this for yourself. Whatever day that you're watching this, what did you do 7 days ago? Right? I want you to think about it for a second. And don't be cheating. And what I mean by cheating is You might know your work schedule, and you might be like, oh, well, I was in from 10 to 2 because my work schedule said this. No. I want a real moment that you can think of from 7 days ago. Something that you really did. Some real image, right, from there. Let's think about it. I'll give you a second. 7 days ago. What do you got? I got nothing. I have no idea what I did 7 days ago. And what I find when I do this in class, about 3/4 of people have no idea what they did last Friday, right? About 1/4 do. And the reason why the 1/4 can remember is something special happened. You know, oh, I got an offender bender, or, you know, that kind of thing. They'll remember that moment because that moment will have jogged in their brain. But for the rest of us, where is, I'm not seeing it. Where is last Friday? I'm looking, but yeah, it's gone. 7 days. How much of last Friday honestly still exists? I don't know, 5%, 2%? Think of how much is already gone. Now, that was 7 days ago, 1 week. If we were looking at something that was 1,000 years old, that's about 50,000 Fridays ago. So, you do the math. How much is left of 50,000 Fridays ago? Yeah, I'm going to go with like, not a whole hell of a lot. But that's what you got. That's the idea behind archaeology. That's how it rolls. And those little bits that are left, oh, it's nice when they work. Let's do one more thought exercise on this. Okay, for those of us who don't know what the hell we did last Friday, myself included, the cops knock at your door. You're implicated in a murder. We need to know, where were you last Friday? What do? Do you use your feelings? Well, I feel like I was here. No, they don't give a damn. What do they want? Facts. They want data. So now, think about it. How are you going to prove that you didn't murder someone last Friday? You need your alibi. How are you going to prove your alibi? Right? What are you going to look at? Think about it. What proves that you were not out murdering? What are you going to look at? I'd look at my phone. That's step one. In your phone, you have so much data. There's a calendar in there, there's text messages in there, and photos and whatever with dates. And that will start to help you narrow down and remember where you were last Friday. Let's go onward. Ooh, some bank receipts. All right. Those are even better, because you can mess with your phone if you're a super criminal. Right? But bank receipts, not so much. Let's go on other receipts from other places. You can ask your friends. You can, what the hell did we do? What we do last Friday? Right? That will start to narrow it down more. Let's go more extreme. You need to know this. You need to know. You can go into jail. You're going to figure this out. Look at home. You can look at your dirty clothes. Right? You haven't done your laundry for a week. You look at the bottom. Oh, is the day I wore the black pants. Right? Narrowing it down. Remembering where you were using data. The black pants, the receipts, the stuff in the phone. That stuff is real. Right? Look in your garbage. Oh, a week ago, oh, it was spaghetti night. Right? Now, what's spaghetti worth on the black market as an artifact? Old spaghetti. I'm going with not a lot. But in terms of the data, it is. In terms of the data, it's getting you off from a murder rap. Not bad. See, that at the end is how archaeology works. It's based on data, not feelings.